in the picture, you hear in the news, you see in the signs. You know that it's time. Veteran wins the poetry. Take grade, don't try to escape. Go to the mains and meet in the middle. We go through our days together, I tell you. So, one love, one heart, one God, one aim, one destiny. Just know you're not alone. If you feel like that, come and stand next to me. Yeah, so that's it. Sometimes we all alone.
My name is Justin Marks, and I want to welcome you all to the Youth Justice Coalition Social Justice Center. But before we begin, we want to call on the folks who came before us. We want to recognize that we stand on Tongan land. We want to recognize and be able to bring in some of the spirits that help to guide us. Some of those folks who have fought before for our place where we are now. I'm going to call out some names. You may have noticed on the wall we have Carletta Jackson, one of the peace builders who just passed away and was a deep and integral part of our family here. So I'm going to call out the name, and I want you all to repeat it, and then we'll say Ashe. Ashe?
Ashe.
Okay. And then as we go on, feel free to call out some of the names of folks that maybe you would like to pull in, right? Whether it's an aunt, uncle, someone who came before you who helped to guide your steps. Carletta Jackson.
Carletta Jackson.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Albert Ramon Dorsey.
Albert Ramon Dorsey.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Keith Bursey.
Keith Bursey.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Quentin Thomas.
Quentin Thomas.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so we pour water to connect and to honor essential elements that help us to connect and to take a meditative process so that we can call on ourselves as we review this art around us, these beautiful contributions, that we can also recognize that this is a part of a legacy, that this moment doesn't start tonight and it doesn't end tonight, but that we are all connected, and that even as we pour this water out, even if it spills on the floor, it goes into the plant, we know that it doesn't end, that the circle doesn't stop, that you can't get rid of water the same way that you can't get rid of energy. And so we want to, at this moment, open it up to you all to see if there's some names that you would also like to call out to help us remember. We know that there's folks whose anniversaries are today that we may want to respect and to honor.
Rashid Shakur.
Rashid Shakur, Ashe.
Ashe.
Eric and Erica Garner.
Eric and Erica Garner, Ashe.
Ashe. Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman, Ashe.
Ashe.
George Jackson, Ashe.
Ashe.
Ishan Desar.
Ishan Desar.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Fred Hampton, Ashe.
Fred Hampton. Ashe.
Mauricio Barron and Dante Cuevas, who both died on October 10th, both were killed by law enforcement.
Say the names again, please.
Mauricio Barron
Mauricio Barron. Ashe.
and Dante Cuevas.
Dante Cuevas.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe and Ashe. And again, welcome one and all to the Two Goats Justice Center. As some of you may know, this was a former juvenile jail and a courthouse. So before you leave today, as you see the art, we also make sure that you have an opportunity to see the jail cells. There's one of the man who works here. His name is Paul Wallace, but we call him Doc. And Doc was talking to a young man the other day, and he said, "Young man, I want you to have hope, because at one point I was in these cells, and now I walk around the keys to open these doors," right? And so we know that things change, that revolution happens every day. It happens inside of us, and it happens around us. We talk about our strategies for ending youth incarceration. We talk about close, shrink, and reinvest. When we talk about Chuco's Justice Center, there is not another example like this in Los Angeles in terms of reclamation of space, in terms of reparations, in terms of education, right? And so again, we invite you to join the family. We do have membership cards and also some forms over here. But if you'd like to receive some more information as we move forward, that we can make sure that you're a part of this family. And if you would like to submit a proposal for your own event here for the month that Chuco's is going to be hosting SmallAsAGiant, that we'd also like to facilitate that as well. So at this moment, I'd like to, one, extend gratitude for all y'all for coming out here tonight, fighting LA traffic. And also to introduce you to a part of the Life Productions team. And at this moment, I'd like to bring up Niaz.
What's the video?
We'll do the video first?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to pause on that because Niaz actually doesn't need any introduction, as I've been told. So what you're going to see is one of our programs here called CAT 911, which meets on the third Thursday of every month. It's CAT 911 stands for Community Action Teams or Community Alternatives to 911, right? Oftentimes in communities like these, we know that people bleed out waiting for the police, right? We know that domestic violence and gender-based violence are things that we can't necessarily rely on others for, and that our survival depends on our own ability to be able to intervene and prevent the harm that happens, right? And so community action, community alternatives to 911 is one of these programs that we use to help to funnel that energy. And this is just a short video that details this. Go ahead.
Enjoy.
I mean, we were just sitting back, you know, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. You know, tracking my roots, where I came from, where I'm going.
It was the first time having a 2-day training. This is the first day of how people can build community alternatives to 911 in their own communities, how they define community. So if that means that you're aligned with people across the county and that's your community, then that's how you build an alternative 911 for your people.
The idea of this conference is to give people the tools and tactics they need to defend themselves against not only just police violence, but to also create their own hubs wherever they go back, whether it's their school, their places of work, their neighborhoods, their block, and institute CAT 911 teams and go back to their own places and establish these hubs.
And so it takes us to go out there and monitor and document and make sure that the policy in which we call the one world is very respected and monitored. America was created in 1776, and the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights was established shortly thereafter. Yet we see the rights of people of color didn't exist until some 200 years later. I never got the basket, the fruits of the labor, and I never got the cash from that dude from the labor. I'm just thinking back. He was a youth leader at the Justice Coalition. In 2005, he was killed. He was trying to bring peace between two neighborhoods, his neighborhood and another neighborhood on the west side of LA. And he went to a party and came downstairs and was killed on this corner of 21st and La Brea. We named our center after him because he was just an amazing person. We don't want nobody to be a statistic. We want everybody to have the resolution for the problems. We are empowering that. And we don't believe someone with a badge and a gun has a resolution for all our social problems. Transformative justice is what we need nowadays. Transformative justice is a community building a justice system within themselves. To hold people accountable, like people fighting, you know, let them know that's not right. You know, we don't fight to fight. You know, we don't deserve to be fighting between each other.
The 40s came in, they started talking. I'm like, hey, go say something. What you gonna do?
and work and graduate. I'm about to graduate in December because of this space.
So as I mentioned, we are not going to watch Stacey dance special. But yeah, so we have so many folks who have been locked up here. We have some members who have talked about being sentenced in these courtrooms. And since I've been here, since we've been here in April, I've seen a birthday party, a baby shower. We've had all different kinds of celebrations. So we're turning courtrooms into classrooms, turning jail cells into music studios, and we invite you to follow our story on social media and on our website, Justice LA.
Thank you everybody for coming. My name is Dr. Niyaz Kasravi, and I'm the founder and director of the Avalon Institute. And I've been doing work as a researcher and advocate in the criminal and juvenile justice space for about 20 years. And I can tell you almost everything about our system of criminal and juvenile justice shocks me and surprises me every time I think about it. But on top of that list is what we do to children. We are the only country in the world that essentially locks up children and gives them sentences that essentially add up to a life sentence. So that's what this project is about. And when ICE approached me to get involved and to support the project, it was really my honor to be a part of this work. As you'll get a chance to see, it's quite powerful and uplifting. And so it's my honor now to introduce to you ICE himself, who is the lead artist and the project director for SmallAsAGiant. He's an advocate and an educator and an artist, but most importantly, all of his work is of and for our people and our communities. So ICE, please join us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry, I'm not very formal. My name is Ise Lyfe. I'm sorry. I am originally from East Oakland, California. When I was a kid, maybe I was 17, 18, I left Oakland for the first time, and I came in LA. And I didn't know that in East Oakland, I'm from a street called East 14th. And I didn't know that there was an East 14th everywhere. So I didn't know there was a Central Avenue in LA. I didn't know about the Magnolia Projects in New Orleans. And as I traveled as a young man, I started to see that the same issues that existed where I was from existed everywhere. And that's compounded now by the fact that I see that a lot of our communities are either changing without us or staying the same with us. So what's beautiful, I think, about YJC and Tuco's space is that we see a space like this being transformed by the folks who care about and reside in and thrive and want to be here. SmallAsAGiant is a large-scale photo exhibition. I would say I didn't build this so that people can sit around and drink champagne and put their pinky in the air and talk about the intersectionality and whatever, you know. I wanted to create something that would be provocative, that people could come and hear and learn these stories. And also, so for example, somebody from YJC, if they're doing an event to help formerly incarcerated or currently incarcerated people, you could come in the same space where this exhibit is, that premiered at an anthropology museum. And on Dr. King Day, we premiere at the California Museum, which is like going up in Lackland, in Sacramento. But it also resides here. The other thing is, for me personally, this is my bowing out of being an advocate and an artist that's doing projects and work like this as a person that's never been incarcerated. When I first started doing this work, and I was telling a group of folks, that some of them are here now, I was telling them this a couple weekends ago, when we first started doing this work, nobody was getting out. So there had to be folks that were not formally incarcerated. There had to be folks that were not systems impacted, that could represent. But now so many of our folks are coming home, it's time for us to get out of the way. And I'm humbled to be trusted with these stories. I want to show you all a few things before you walk around. Right away, as soon as we're done talking today, this is going to be removed and rolled out the way. So you can see Raylene here. Everyone that you see here before the age of 18 was sentenced as an adult in prison. Most of these photographs were taken on the outside, but I want to share with you all some photographs that I recently taken inside of San Quentin and Avenal State Penitentiary. Is that cool? Okay. So if we roll, so one thing that stands out to me, this is from San Quentin. Are incarcerated. The heaviest thing about this project has been talking to somebody who is 70 and they've been down since they were 17. Inversely heavy is talking to a kid that's 19 and they doing their first week, or first, when I meet them, first 6 weeks maybe of a life sentence. The exhibit here at YJC is in this space, and then when you're done looking around in this space, you should go into the next room to see a bit of a conceptual art piece that's built out there. We're grateful for the revolutionary academics that are in this work. I went to San Luis Obispo, where Cal Poly is, and Dr. Shaw here is teaching a class. The room is predominantly not PLC, and she put this bingo up in front of them in the back. And I encourage you to look at this bingo, and all these things are things that if you do, you could be incarcerated as a young person for, and ask yourself if you ever participated in those things, regardless of your race or creed. Can we keep rolling, Karen? And roll again. The thing that glares to me when we go inside to a photograph of this project, so the process starts, none of these photos, this is art that I placed and built after we take the initial photos. So at first there's a background, whatever's there. So when you see this photograph of this young man in Sacramento, none of this background will be here, but that's the reality of where we took the photograph. And what's glaring to me is how some folks are elders and some folks are children, all falling under this guise of being tried and charged as adults when they're young people. And keep rolling. Go ahead, Karen. I was photographing this brother, and I got to like the third picture. I was like, brother could be like a model. And I said, brother, these are great pictures you take. He said, yeah. And he leaned on me while I was walking out and he said, Ise, you got any books on physics? He had all this heavy knowledge on physics, you know, even down since he was 17. Next slide. The brother was so nervous when we were on the yard. Dr. Khosravi was standing right beside me, and he was so nervous. It's the one usable picture I got. And how I got it, I said, don't look at me. Yeah, do you remember what I told him to look at? Who did I tell him to look at?
His mom.
Mm-hmm. And he said, Mama. Next slide. In Avenal State Penitentiary, what stood out to me is just the youth and how young folks are. Go ahead, Karen. Cool. I think there's just a holder slide. So I'm excited, I'm honored for folks to be here to see this project. I want to thank YJC and True Coats as a whole, but there's certain individuals I want to thank. I'd like to thank Dr. Khosravi, who's the lead researcher on this project, her and Berkeley Donovan and their work on the project. I'd like to thank Paul here. Paul, Paul, you're real smooth for standing in front of that picture of yourself. Really smooth.
I'm a narcissist.
But not a narcissist, the opposite of it. And Paul, along with students here at the YJC, they're responsible for painting the walls and getting the walls together, but also he's just been an amazing contributor to the project. I'd like to thank Sarvina and Dylan and Kern and Yoel and Candace, and I don't think I'm Brandy Palmer on my team for just being such great contributors to the project, and of course Rudy. And lastly, I'll thank them again, the folks that are here, but this project exists because of the folks who were brave enough to share their stories. You'll hear some of those stories when you go into the other space, and thank you. Thank you. So from there, we're going to move into invite you to walk around and look at everything here. Please take some time to really look at the photographs and capture the captions here, and make sure you use the magnifying glass. You know what I mean when you get over into that space here. Okay. Okay, and then we're doing that for 20 to 30 minutes, and you'll be aware of when to come back for our panel. Thank you.
So I'm still doing the Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
So would you let me first do this? So this is Andrew Williams Jr. and again, Andrew Williams Jr. at UCID.TV and conversation with Andrew Williams Jr. This time with Sir Bailey, who invited me here. So Sir Bailey, please introduce yourself and tell us what we're doing.
Hey, blessed love. We are with Andrew Williams Jr. UCI-TV and enjoying this one-of-a-kind exhibit. Ise Lyfe, the artist from Oakland, California, has brought pictures that he's taken of people that were sentenced to life terms before the age of 18. A great historical timeline as part of the exhibit on the history of the criminal justice system and the struggles against it are part of that timeline. So I definitely recommend you come down to 7625 Central Avenue. The exhibit will be up from now, October 10th October 10th to November 10th. So come down during the daytime, 8:30 to 3:30. We're in school, so you need to call and make an appointment. But after 3:30, I believe you can just come on by.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. See you. Yeah. And you can go online. This particular visit is SmallAsAGiant.com. I'm going to show you the brochure now. And if you can flip it over on the other side, which has the website. Okay. All right, so we're going to walk around and see some art. Andrew Williams Jr., UCIT.TV.
Next number.
mind up and, be like, maybe that's good with the what's going on. Yeah, it was basically because the state subsidizes that a lot, so it's very easy for counties to be like, sure, you guys stay with the state. The state is picking up the bill, so this is okay, if you want to do that, it's got to pay that kind of, so, yeah, so anyway, so that's my thought, so, did you have a young person who say, talking about, Right. Because if you are interested, you have a young person that would like to, I don't know, talk about crossroads issues. Right now in LA County, like, I don't know how much you're familiar, pardon me if I'm some of you but there's a big kind of juvenile diversion push. And yeah, we're right. Yeah, through the Liberty County. So there's been this focus to kind of really grapple about how to open this up, often making sure that there's certain like privacy issues and a lot of things. So how do we open this up to right. So that's something I would love to talk about. Write about hey, LA kind of pat themselves on the back and they've had like a special process. CLC, but it would be awesome if people would say, hey, that's what
You look dapper, young man.
Hello, Green. This is kind of too small to read, so I'll read it for you. This is about the artist. Ise Lyfe is an award-winning recording artist, conceptual artist, justice advocate, professor, playwright, and product developer from Oakland, California, now living in Los Angeles. He is one of the most dynamic literary and performance artists in America, with a broad fan base stemming from his appearances on several commercial market platforms. His social and political commentary, which exists in the realm of published works, major network guest commentary, and university lecturing, are widely viewed and used as educational tools. He holds over 15 years of experience in every form of educational institution, including Ivy League and public universities, public and private schools, K through 12, mental health facilities, after-school programming, and social work programming, and presents as a guest lecturer and resident at dozens of universities a year, both domestic and abroad. Invited by both student groups and department chairs, his engagements draw thousands of students, galvanizing both discourse and student action towards creating safe and thriving environments for personal and communal growth. For his last major conceptual art project, Brighter Than Blight, Lyfe transformed a blighted, condemned housing project into a life-size exhibition, an artistic narrative on housing as a human right. From its onset, the project was ambitious and massive, but at completion was hailed as not only unprecedented, but also as a stellar success. Other noteworthy projects by Ise are his 2018 New York Off-Broadway premiere in Angus, which he co-penned and produced, and 2017 IBM TED Talk performance lecture, Flag in the Mud. Lyfe's work on stage and in conceptual art form are both joyful and socio-political, addressing apathy and inequity in a way that is thought-provoking and layered. There are always elements of spirit, ancestral nods, social commentary, and happiness despite conditions infused in what he builds. Ise contributed to the charter and strategy map that led to the establishment of a Department of Race and Equity for the city of Oakland, California. He is the youngest recipient of the John George Social Justice Award, and his hometown of Oakland, California, dedicated his birthday as Ise Lyfe Day in 2012. You can find him on social media at ISELYFE. Hello, Queen. Go ahead. Sure, brother. Pardon me, brother. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, this is a different one.
So what I'm about to read you is called Bingo. It's juvenile justice and delinquency. These are several things that you could do that could wind you up behind bars. So, have you ever cheated on a test, lied about your age, smoked weed, stolen a car, damaged or destroyed property? Bingo, you're in. Have you ever, number 2, disobeyed your parents, gotten into a fist fight, court, suspended, arrested? Bingo, you're in. 3, stayed out past curfew, hit your parents, bullied someone, or been drunk. Number 4, avoided paying for movies or food, ran away from home, carried a weapon, kicked out of class, or done graffiti. Number 5, stolen from a store, gang affiliated or affiliation, tried illicit drugs, sold drugs, or ditched school. Depending on your score, no matter who you are in the United States, these things could wind you up behind bars. The photos that you saw earlier and the ones you're about to see are all from SmallAsAGiant.com, created by Ise Lyfe out of Oakland, California. Earlier I read you his bio. This tells you a bit about the project itself. That reads, this is a statewide photography project and exhibition to expose and rectify California's long-term prison sentencing of children. I'll read you the artist's statement. I'm sorry. Hey, no worries. As global warming is widely regarded as the defining environmental issue of our time, I believe that mass juvenile incarceration is the defining human rights issue of our time, especially in America. As an artist, so says Ise Lyfe, I always have a million ideas swarming through my mind. Your artistic obligation is to act on one of those ideas and express it on the canvas or medium of your choosing. For me, I find it most important to bring forth the work that can fill social voids and start conversations that lead to action and the exposing of inaction and apathy around important issues. I've worked in every form of correctional facility as an educator and or resident artist. It is heavy work, and one of the heaviest experiences is sitting next to a 70-year-old man who has been in prison since he was 18 years old, or a young woman serving the first month of a life sentence.
Everybody's attention, please. We're going to start in about 5 minutes, so just letting everybody know. Thank you.
Okay, I also experienced the pain of visiting my brother in California State Prison as a child and teen over the course of an 8-year sentence he served. What is most apparent to me is the increasing normalization of youth incarceration. Law enforcement, schools, and even families have come to an attitude of just expecting that a fraction of their community, students or children, will go to prison, and possibly for a very long time. On a social services level, it is a gross step beyond expecting into the realm of anticipating young people being sentenced to prison. Children being put behind bars is not a normal thing. Even more abnormal is the concept of our society accepting it as normal. The darkest piece of all of this is children being sentenced as adults and transferred at a young and vulnerable stage in their physical, emotional, and mental development to adult penitentiaries. Small as a Giant is my artistic effort to bring awareness to a sweeping social epidemic and human rights violation against our children. I wanted to offer a tool to the people on the front lines working to advocate for free victims of these policies. and engage people in the cause and achieve permanent change. Love and light, Ise Lyfe. So Ise, hey brother, do you have a card that I can reach you, or can I reach you through Sir Bailey?
I do. Yeah, I'll grab my card.
Before you leave, I'd like to follow up with you.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing this also. I promote like citizen journalism. So I work with a team here in Los Angeles called the Universal Citizen Media Network. What we believe is that because now 5 corporations own 90% of the media, all of us have to become producers instead of consumers.
Yeah.
These stories are the most important and powerful narratives that they are.
Well, I'll make sure you'll have our information.
All right. Yeah. Oh, hey, Ise. I'm still streaming on Facebook Live. I need you to holler at people.
What do you want me to say, brother?
Huh?
What do you want me to say?
Tell them why you're doing what you're doing and where we are.
Ise Lyfe, this is Ambassador Andrew Williams.
Yes, sir.
Community Ambassador.
Yes, sir.
Doing a lot of linking.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yes.
So
we're here at SmallAsAGiant in LA, and we feel like it's important to bring art exhibits about our folks, who our folks are.
Right.
So I'm proud to be here and raise awareness, I hope, and also give other people opportunities to bring light to, as California knocks out mass incarceration of juveniles.
Well, let me ask you. I just read everyone your intro over here. How is it that climate change is impacted with what we're dealing with right here locally, if all? Do you see a linkage?
I think so. I think that there's a correlation between a lack of care for all of humanity and how we treat the planet that inhabits humanity.
Right. Well, you're from Oakland, California, of course. As you may or may not know, that's also the heart of a lot of the spiritual power of what we call Pan-Africanism now.
Of course.
Right? So this is not a new story for people in the black community. Also, 2019 is the 400th anniversary of the first arrival of the Africans from Angola, the Kwanzaa River area of Angola, right, to Hampton, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
But it's also the middle of the international decade for people of African descent.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just asking you to take that into consideration because everything you're doing now impacts that reality.
Yes, sir.
But we have to use that language so that the people around the world understand that we know what we're talking
and
about.
who we are.
Exactly.
Yes,
So
thank you.
All right.
Ambassador, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to check out before they start the panel. And I hope you don't mind, but me and Yaya want to take off before they start the panel.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So about 5 minutes or so? Or, okay, well, I'm going to finish the wrap up and I'm going outside. Okay. All right.
So it's interesting. It's like,
So this is Andrew Williams Jr. We're going to wrap it up here. We're at the True Coast Justice Center at 7625 Central Avenue in Los Angeles. This is the new home of the Youth Justice Coalition. They were gentrified out of Inglewood, but found a new home here, what was formerly a juvenile detention center. This exhibit will be going on for the next month. It's called SmallAsAGiant.com. 7625 South Central Avenue. You can get more information at SmallAsAGiant.com or hashtag SmallAsAGiant. Also, hashtag End Adult Justice Sentencing of Children. Co-sponsored by Boys and Men of Color, California Endowment. And that's all I can say and all I can see. Andrew Williams Jr. Find me on Facebook. Andrew Williams Jr.